as good as we can.
All right. Good afternoon, East Hampton ARB. We're live on 22. This meeting's being recorded. The phone lines are not open, and we're also streaming to YouTube. You may begin.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the June 12th meeting of the Architectural Review Board of East Hampton. Chairman Ray is away, and our alternate board member, Susan McGregor-Scott, is sitting in. We had 10 applications on the docket today, but one of those applications has been administratively postponed. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 22nd meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed unanimously. By the way, Frank Guittard, our fifth member, is on his way. He was caught in the same traffic because of a bad accident on 27 that I was. He'll be here shortly. Chris, your application's up first. Let me ask before we get into it, since Frank is not here yet, our fifth member, if you'd like to postpone this for any reason, just because there are only four of us, that's fine. Okay. We'll probably be asking applicants until Frank gets here, if that's the case, if they want to postpone to wait until there's a full board. That's their option. So our first application is for a change to commercial property, Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-87-3-28, Gurney's Inn in Montauk, and I'll present this one. This is a modification to a previously approved application where the board approved replacing a door and windows to the top floor office balcony, which you can see just under the gable peak in that photo. There was initially a door with side lights, not too dissimilar from what's existing, but the applicant is now requesting to change that configuration to what was approved, changing from a center door with flanking windows to a sliding door centered on the gable, and then with a concealed egress door to the right of that as you're looking from the outside. The egress door would be clad to match and blend with the exterior siding. Generally, I would say, this modification seems much more in keeping with the rest of the window alterations that Gurney's has already taken on. And as you can see in this photo, in the image there, the windows below have already been replaced. All in all, I'd say it's a cleaner, simpler look. You want to make any comments?
Sure. I'm Chris DeSuna, the architect for the client. Yeah, the sliding doors don't meet egress because they have to swing out in order to evacuate the space upstairs. So that's the purpose for the blind door, and it's siding. So on the inside, it'll have a panic bar and an exit sign, but on the outside, you won't see anything except for the groove around it.
Just out of curiosity, is there a large occupant load up there?
No, it's less than 50, but it's just that we have to have two means of egress, and so we've got the staircase and we've got that.
Gotcha.
So, and this is just it's a better view. I mean, it's an awesome view out to the ocean from right there. So we had, before we just made the windows tall, and now we've just combined them. So.
Any comments from the board members? Thoughts?
I think it looks very clean,
Yeah, agree. I think it looks better.
similar to the fenestration downstairs.
Yeah. Frank, do you want to see what was there before? This has already been approved, but this is now a change to what we approved, which was a center door and side lights, fixed side lights.
Yeah, can you just run through it real quick?
Yeah, so before we had French door with side lights and two windows.
It's only this one up there, so that's pretty.
Yeah, it's only at the top there.
That's fine.
Yeah, and so now we have a blind egress door and sliding doors.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, then I'd like to make a motion to approve this modification as submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Passed unanimously. All right. Again, in exchange commercial, next up we have Suffolk County Tax Map 300-130-2-7.4, Ocean Colony at 2400 Montauk Highway in Amagansett. Clara, this is yours.
Thank you, Chris. Well, I think this is the application number 3. Perfect, thank you. So the Ocean Colony Resort is located off of Old Montauk Highway on a big stretch in Amagansett. This application pertains to 2 of the building complexes that require new roof shingles and skylight replacement. The applicants plan to replace the skylights that are leaking or showing signs of wear with the new energy efficient models featuring durable frames and high performance glazing. I believe we do not have the skylight specifications or like spec sheets, but I don't think that's necessary. The existing roof shingles will be removed as well and replaced with the new weather-resistant shingles in the new harbor blue color. As you can see right now, I would say the tone is more of a brownish, reddish for the roof shingles. Do we have anybody here to speak on behalf of the application?
What would you like to know? My name is Dean Clementis. I'm representing Ocean Colony.
Thank you. Is there anything I left out or anything else you would like to add to this
No,
application?
we're just changing the roof out. It's getting reaching the end of its life and it needs to be swapped out.
So you can see this is one of the units on the picture, so it's 2 of those. So the previous one that was showing, if you can skip one back, well, this will show you the skylights up there and the roof. The other one is the same, but I just couldn't get the skylight picture from the angle.
So what you're proposing is some of the skylights being changed, not all of them.
Yeah, they're, whatever needs to be switched, we'll switch them with the same exact skylights.
And changing the color of changing the roofing, including changing the color.
Correct.
And
We have a spec for that as well.
Okay, well, you want to show the spec on the roofing? These are just standard Velux skylights?
Yes.
So it's going to be the harbor blue. If you can scroll all the way down to the left
The bottom left.
corner, the bottom left.
Nice.
Nice.
It's the
Or as they call it where I grew up, Haba Blue.
Haba.
No R's. All right. Any comments from anybody on the board?
No, I think it's improvement.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Pretty straightforward application.
I mean, the buildings aren't even visible from the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in that case, I would like to make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second.
Do we have a second? Ben? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passed. Thank you
so
very much. Again, in change to commercial, Suffolk County Tax Map 300-49-4-52.7, Montauk Beach House LLC, aka the Ronjo, at 55 South Elmwood in Montauk. Clara, also yours.
Thank you, Chris. So this application is proposing to repaint the Moai statue, I'm sorry if I pronounce it incorrectly, at the Montauk Beach House, formerly known as the Ronjo Resort in 1950s. The property is located pretty much in the city, in the center of Montauk, just off the main street. The statue has been repainted several times over the last couple of years, and by the previous owners or different local artists. This is the current state, the colors. Well, if you can please go to the document showing, okay, so now you can see side by side the original, the current version, as well as the proposed design. And if we scroll down, we can also see all the previous versions in the last couple of years. I don't know if you have anybody here today to speak to the design intent behind this.
Yes. Larry
Hello.
Seidlich, Montauk Beach House.
Nice to meet you. Do you have anything to add to the application?
No, not really. It just is in desperate need of a paint job, and we're trying to get it done before we hit the July timeframe. And it's been painted so many times over the years, and it's such an iconic location, and I couldn't help but include a little history there about the statue. But no, that's about it.
Chris, do we have any?
Any
Comments
comments? Any thoughts?
No objection.
I mean, it is what it is, you know.
It's
one of
very,
those things,
it's the wonderful part of Montauk that, that funky side of,
I mean, you don't come to Montauk without taking a picture in front of it.
that's right.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so I would like to make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second.
A second?
Second, all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Motion's passed. All right, still in change to commercial. Suffolk County Tax Map 300-5-4-15, 552 Westlake Drive in Montauk, and I'll present this one as well. This is an application to add 2 EV charging stations to the existing parking lot behind an existing multi-tenant commercial building in the dock area in Montauk. This is a view from roughly from the area of the charging stalls looking toward the building and toward Westlake Drive out there. The application has received site plan approval from the planning department, and the ARB is now tasked with review of the architectural details, the charging stations, bollards, electrical equipment, signage, fencing, and 2 post-mounted light fixtures. In terms of the charging stations, there's really not a lot to critique. It sort of is what you get. They look like 2020's version of gas pumps, basically. But images of the overall effect are also shown in the rendering. This is the state of affairs as it was left when they realized that they had to get site plan approval. Work was underway because there's no change at all to the configuration of the parking lot or the stalls. It's just taking the last 4 parking stalls, putting signs on that say, if you want to show some of the application materials, the signs say EV charging available, which means that, when the parking lot is full, it's not for EV station parking only. Gas-powered cars can park there. There we go. That's the basic look of what they're proposing. 2 stations, the bright colored bollards to protect them from those, crazy Tesla bumpers that you've got, the small blue signs, and included in this, the site plan approval was the stockade fencing along the property line edge and quite heavy planting. I think there's 31 arborvitaes and some smaller boxwoods around up against the curb. There's also an electrical machinery component which is required for this. I think it's pretty heavy, like 3-phase electrical service to these chargers. So it's pretty large equipment. You can see in some of my photos. Well, it's just to the left of this along the back side of the parking lot. Let's see, there's a transformer pad. That's kind of a vault there. That's next to the existing dumpster location. That's the pad that the chargers are sitting on. You can see the bases for the bollards. And there's the electrical equipment, which also gets stockade fence behind it and plantings around it. And you can see the transformer vault between the dumpster enclosure and the electrical vault. So, I mean, this is at the back corner of the parking lot, which is behind the building. It's a handsome commercial building, stone and wood detailing. The light fixtures, I did have a couple of questions for him. I don't know if there's somebody from the applicant.
Right. Jeff Contreras representing Woodhull.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, Jeff Contreras representing Woodhull Designs.
Great. Okay. Just to confirm, the fixtures and fixture posts are those the the matte black that was one of the options. I didn't see a color selected in the choices on the application
Yep, that's
materials.
the matte black.
So those will kind of go away. The lights are on motion sensors, so they're not on all the time.
Yep,
That's
correct.
It's 3000 K light color temperature, which is the maximum allowed by town code. It's pretty straightforward. This is I think we're going to be seeing, a fair amount of these coming through for us to be reviewing because that's part of the requirement for site plan approval is it's a change to commercial. So it comes before us as well. But in this case, it's tucked away in the very back of the parking lot. So did I cover things pretty well?
Yeah, definitely.
Let me just see if I knew. That was pretty much the fencing. It's standard stockade fencing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think the computer rendering probably doesn't know what stockade fencing really looks like. And
right. And I also just want to point out that
it's called stockade fencing on the site plan.
Sure. I'm sorry. I also just want to point out that they're not EV parking only. Those spots, anybody can park there. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, I've seen other spots in town where, it says EV parking only on the sign that says these ones say electric charging available,
Right.
Or something like
Correct.
that. So, yeah, so that it didn't change their parking count for the site plan approval for required spots. Any thoughts, comments?
Well, I'm pretty supportive generally of these charging stations. I guess my comment would be the color to me seems a little overkill. I think about the Tesla charger station in the village here. I don't know if it's actually that bright yellow, but it seems like.
I agree with you. I think that looks a little bit.
It's kind of like is it really going to be like that, or is it more going to be like parking yellow?
It's more of a standard parking yellow. I think we're just seeing this off
Okay.
of rendering, but definitely it's just a standard yellow.
Okay.
Yep.
There's probably reflective strips on the top of those bollards, which probably again only see them when there's headlights or taillights flashing on them, backup lights or something. I would think.
Okay.
All right. Well, does anybody have any other thoughts?
No.
All right. Well, I think I would like to make a motion to approve this application as submitted. And second,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Sounds like it's passed unanimously.
Okay.
Thanks. Moving on to fences, walls, gates, and berms. Next up is Suffolk County Tax Map 300-175-1-38, 130 Bluff Road in Amagansett. Frank, this is yours.
Okay, this is an application to approve an as-built gate and call box at Bluff Road on the north side, kind of between Atlantic Avenue and Montauk Highway. If we just run through the photos. So it's 6 feet from natural grade, 6'1" from the gravel in the middle. If you can just go through the photos, Will. It's painted white. Painted white wood. So they're these staggered vertical slats. And you'll see from the photos, where this is relative to the street. Normally I might have some objection to a rather somewhat opaque gate, but it's set back somewhat from the street within vegetation, and there is a gate to the immediate right of it, which is more open. And I'll just point out these houses have some historical value in terms of the history of modernism. It's pretty straightforward.
There's someone here for the applicant.
Yes, I'm Edward Winowski, the agent for the applicant.
Charlie Martyr.
Is there something you'd like to add to Frank's comments? Or anything we missed?
No, I think that's great. I mean, when we did this, certainly, like, I regret not seeing you before we did it, is one thing. And we took a Charles Bothme detail from the house, used it as the gate detail, and the owner was particularly keen to a large expense to restore the Guathme's 60s house. And we thought, we got carried away here. And of course, the barn. And I'm sorry for that. And hopefully it meets all, we're inside the property, everything's, so thank you.
Yeah, I mean, normally I think given the explanation here, and I will point out to this board, it's not the only way you could do a gate like this, but I appreciate that this was, I am familiar with the renovation of this house, which is renovated quite well. So it's an architecturally important property. So I don't object to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think also the context on Bluff Road, where it is important to note too, because it's really a vehicular highway at that point, leading right up to where it joins joins 27 heading east. So it's not as if this is heavy strolling area, certainly not linked to the Bluff Road Historic District. We don't have as evolved an architectural street front on this portion of Bluff Road. So I think that kind of weighs into what we're looking at here. Again, especially given as another somebody who appreciates Charlie Guathme's work, I like the nod to the architectural details in the gate. So I don't have any issues with it. Clara, anybody else?
It matches the house design and it's well landscaped.
Yeah.
I don't have any objection.
It's part of a whole. I think it's fine.
Okay.
And it's quite set back.
Yeah.
52 feet, on the edge of the asphalt.
Yeah, I think you really see it, from a car as you're driving by pretty, at 30 miles an hour, no more. Ever.
No offense to this property, you're probably looking at the other one to the right.
Exactly.
You're slowing down.
Exactly. That's a little bit better known as a
A little more famous, the one to the right. So, okay. Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve this application as presented.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed unanimously.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Thanks to the client. We'll be very delighted. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Next up is an application in the Amagansett Main Street Historic District, Suffolk County Tax Map 300-171-1-31 at 137 Main Street, and I'll present this one. This is an application to add a painted wood pergola structure to the side of an existing two-story historic and currently multi-tenant commercial structure on Main Street, east of the historic Miss Amelia Cottage and west of the hardware store and the Talk House. The subject, it's on the north side of Main Street. Subject property is called out in the Historic District Appendix of the zoning code for its particular significance, including the residence just east and the barn behind, which is actually part of the 137 property, even though it looks like it's part of the next door property. The proposed pergola is made of white painted wood posts and an open rafter shed pergola roof set off the rear of the east side wall, tucked behind the one-story wing that you see there, where I've indicated in yellow, the yellow rectangle is the location. The roof line matches the roof line of the shed roof of that single-story addition, but it's set lower, so it's not a perfect alignment. The front face is proposed as being in line with the face of that, the eastern face of that one-story bump out. It's proposed to come further north than the rear, the gable wall there. And let's see what else. Portions of the pergola base would include white painted wood trellis. There's the barn that's pretty significant historically and treasured by the as part of the historic district guidelines. No historic fabric of any significance would be demolished or destroyed by the addition of this modest structure. Existing window and door openings are maintained underneath that pergola. There is a beautiful tree that you see in the foreground there that this comes very close to. So I'd love to hear from the applicant how that's going to work together, if they think they're going to be clear of the roots there and how they're taking care of that. But otherwise, this proposed pergola, I don't know if you've got the application materials, Will, can go through those. That's the street front view. You can see that it will be visible from the street, not directly face on, but as you head east or come from the east, you'll see it obliquely. Yeah, that's again taken from the sidewalk there, so you'll be able to see it pretty clearly. The white painted pergola, the white going with the white trim on the house. This is an inspiration shot from the application materials and an architectural sketch showing how that's tucked in there. Got posts with small brackets on the beams. White open pergola roof. You can see how it's lower than the shed roof beyond it in the lower left there. The trellising on the farthest north bay, and also inside below the pergola there, which you really can't see from the public right away, where they're covering up some electrical meters with the trellis on what I assume are removable panels. It's a pretty simple structure. Is there somebody here from the applicant?
Sean Wood from Farmart.
Okay. Did we miss something, or you want to add anything? Or?
Well, I guess, taking note of the tree, I think we'll talk to our engineer and just maybe we would just do a very shallow footing so we don't go all the way down like we have in that one corner closest to the tree. So definitely look into that.
Okay. That's a beautiful tree. That's a beautiful building too. So I think overall it's pretty attractive. It's sort of an appropriately minor addition that complements and doesn't detract from the existing historic fabric of the building, and seems therefore consistent with the preservation goals that are stated in the historic district guidelines, especially relating to this property. So I don't think there's not a whole lot to say that relative to the guidelines that rule this that give us much to really vote against this. But I'd like to hear comments, thoughts.
I think it adds to the charm of the place, actually.
Actually, when I saw the inspiration shot, I thought it was a former one and this was a replacement.
Right.
It seems so consistent. Hello.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, there's a jumble of different doors and windows there, and this kind of covers that up and domesticates it a bit more. And there's a nice door that comes right out from the single story right into this, so it's kind of a nice extension of the store there. So
seems to meet the standards.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve the application as submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Okay, next up in Ag Overlay, Suffolk County Tax Map 300-196-1-2.1. I don't know if this is GIF or JIF, TL7, LLC, FYI, at 7 Town Line Road in Wainscott. Presenting design revisions to a previous submission. Diane, this is yours.
Yes. Wait till these gentlemen.
Should we come up? Sorry.
Sure. Please do. Please do. And thank you for your attention to our comments and our previous evaluation. I know that you have made many changes. I'm going to read from your letter. My clients and I have heard your concerns and have decided to redesign the home. Our new home design is more classic and traditional country home that embraces the shingle-style architecture of the area. The overall size, massing, and scale of the new home design has been reduced. Well, not by much, but by some. The house, I think the most important single thing is that it has been moved 10 feet back further from the street, right?
Yes, I would just, well, in regards to massing, I also wanted to, the board had commented originally about, like, for example, in the old house, front gable had these three.
Right. Right. You simplified the house, and Will, can you show us their drawings of the before and after? I mean, I think they're the most telling, and
They're useful, yeah.
And they were very much appreciated. Yeah. While you're finding that, I'll continue to speak. I mean, I think you've made some massive changes. Although this is a very big house. It's a big house. The house that's being demolished is 1,900 feet, and it's way, way back on the property. This house is over 8,000 feet. It has 10 bedrooms. I mean, it is a very present house, but I think that the changes you've made have made it much more appealing, and I think that even the roof line, even though it's only a quarter of an inch less than what you're maximally allowed, I somehow think it has been softened by the redesign, and.
Well, the roof line is on the left side, on the north side has been brought down.
Yeah, that's.
And also the gable facing, I guess, north has been eliminated. So it's now sloping in that direction. So it does there has been a substantial reduction in massing and volume of that roof on that side.
And also, I do want to mention that, this house is exactly across from the Town Line Barbecue. So the whole concept of like light emission and noise and everything is sort of negated by the fact that it's across from the Town Line Barbecue, which is a very lively place. And you've given us very complete drawings and plans for every detail, every lighting, everything. And I think that the changes you've made have made a huge difference. And even though we'd like the house to be a little smaller. What does everybody else think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with you. I mean, the clarity of that top elevation as you've revised it, the quality of the design quality of the garage doors more in keeping with the traditional nature, the lower scale, that it all helps a lot. You've kind of kept to a more consistent gable language, and you've got a. I think it's a big improvement, and
yeah, I think it's a big improvement.
No objection from me. My only one comment might be on the railings, second floor railings on the upper terraces. If it was required for you to have a top rail on top of the glass, we're talking small details here, right? But like that might change things a bit architecturally if you need to put a cap rail on the top of the glass panels. But overall, I don't object to this.
yeah, I mean, I'd like to thank you both for really taking to heart what the board is, was our discussion points from the last meeting. I think it really feels great when we have that kind of dialogue and this kind of result comes about. I think it's going to be great success for you commercially and architecturally for you. I think it's a win-win here.
Yeah, this is my fourth year on the board here, and this is the most substantial change I've ever seen on a second go around of an application. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Susan?
Susan?
Well, I think it's much more contextual. The other one really didn't look like it belonged here at all. And it is, as you started last time, in the gateway to East Hampton. So
Right.
I think,
Yeah, I mean, it's an important house. It's an important house, and it's going to be seen now. I mean, the existing house that's being demolished was never seen. It was so deep into the property and sort of brown and small. So this house, but I think it's representative of Wainscott, and I think it's, we appreciate everything the changes you've made and what you've done.
Do we want to review the pergola? Just because it's not just the house. Just show that.
Oh, that's true.
The pool house.
Oh, yeah.
It's technically not. Oh, it is a pool house. Technically. One of them is, yeah.
Yes, they have provided elevations and details of the outdoor shower and the barbecue and all of the details that, as I mentioned, have been thoroughly illuminated.
Plumbing riser diagram. Very important for the Architectural Review Board. Let's see if we can get the elevation.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Page 14, yeah.
Looks very much in
Yeah,
keeping
no objection.
with the house.
yep.
Do
Okay.
we have the lighting and everything, exterior lighting covered? Any sconces or? We just want to make sure that the application is complete.
Yeah, it's extremely,
Do you have any sconces on the house? There is just
I don't believe we do.
all recessed lights in the soffits.
So there's no exterior lighting. I mean, besides that.
It's all soffit lighting.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Great.
well, unless you would like to look at it again and make it a little smaller. But if you're not, which you're welcome to do. But that would be lovely, but as it is, I feel that we're ready to approve this application.
You want to make a motion?
Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second? Susan?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi,
Aye.
Aye. Passed unanimously.
Thank you very much.
congratulations.
Thank you guys
you.
for having open ears.
Yeah, it's really nice, really a pleasure to work in tandem like that.
Well, thank you. Good night now.
All right, moving on to certificates of occupancy. Next up is Suffolk County Tax Map 300-189-4-2.1, Henry Beard at 62 Skimhampton Road. Diane, again, yours.
Oh, is that mine? Okay, yes. This is the nice Beard residence on Skimhampton Road, and the issue that was before us were two new generators that are tucked way in the back of a sort of complicated but interestingly familial building. So I think it's. We have more pictures. There's pictures of the generators. Anyway, it's on the other side of the house, tucked way into the corners, and there you go. And it's
Basically
sort
what
of-
we
it's
approved.
Non-visible, and it interferes with nothing, and I think that it's fine. And so unless there's any.
Where's the second generator? I'm sorry.
It's kind of on the other side of
It's on
that
the other
yard.
side, yeah.
But I mean,
They're both on that other side of the house.
and the locations are in keeping with what we approved.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to instruct staff to notify the building department that this application has satisfied our conditions and substantially conforms to the ARB approval of the resolution and a certificate of occupancy can be issued.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Okay.
Wow. Our final application is also in C of O, Suffolk County Tax Map 300-199-1-1.2 Aaron and Shapiro at 47 Town Line Road in Waynescott. Clara?
Thank you. So this application is to install, a generator in the southwest portion of the property at 47 Town Lane in Waynescott near the Sunken Tennis Court was approved by ARB during the December 12th meeting, 2024. Generator has been since installed at the proposed location, as you can see. The approved application also included a 5-foot high natural wood fence around the generator, which was not constructed. I have no objection as it's visually appealing, well landscaped. I don't know if anybody has any comments. You can see.
Do you know if they plan to put the fence up?
I'm not sure. Do we have anybody here to speak? Not sure. Nobody was at the property.
Do a CO approved as built. So if it doesn't,
Okay.
the fence is there.
I would say, I mean, I don't know. Nobody was there when I came, but honestly, there's not much. Once you're there, the picture is a little deceiving, but there's not really a space to put a wood fence with all of the plantings and stuff. So I'm not sure what the intent is, but that's what was approved on our.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's a noise issue, the building department would look at it. It's really not our.
And they're
our
really
purview.
far away from the neighbor.
On our purview.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, no comment.
It looks fine to me. It looks, if it's in accordance with what we approved, that's pretty much what we're looking at.
Okay, so I would like to make a motion to instruct staff to notify the building department that this application has satisfied the conditions and substantially confirms of the ARB approval of the resolution dated 12/12/2024, and certificate of occupancy can be issued.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. That concludes the business before the board today. I make a motion to close the meeting. Second?
Second.
Favor?
Record short meeting.
All in favor? The meeting is closed. Thank you very much.